Now, how do you see this affecting the entire advertising space?
Yeah, I welcome it. It gives me some realm of optimism for the industry. I've spoken to you many times in the past about my thoughts on the Nigeria advertising market. I've told you I don't believe it's performing the way it should do. It doesn't contribute to GDP the way it should, and it certainly lags well behind the South African advertising market in terms of spend. In actual fact, the market here, the ad market, the spend has been declining since 2016. So, COVID-19 simply exasperates that issue. One of the areas identified as an issue was there was lots of different trade bodies, but they all operated within their own little, let's call it within their own little silos. To me, it needed more holistic thinking and coming together and collaboration to present the case for advertising and investing in advertising. And I welcome the individuals. They are very, very capable, high-profile individuals in this market, and they're already on record as laying out their plans for the advertising market going forward. I welcome that, and it gives me optimism.
And setting any agenda for them, anything in particular maybe you just like them to look at in the industry?
Yeah, there are a number of issues that have to be addressed. One is research, and I certainly know my panel are going to address that. By that I mean it's audience measurement. That's how we trade with advertisers. We go out to them. That's why that 10 million figure is so important. Research tells us we've 10 million audience. We then go and sell that audience to the advertisers. The problem in this market is it's a diary system, which means we're getting the data a month after the event. What happens in most developed markets is all digitized and you get same day audience measurement. That's what brands and advertisers want, because if they're making a substantial investment in advertising, they want robust, up to the minute audience research to help guide that. Not having that in this market up to now has caused a problem, but I welcome the fact that the new president of MyPan have said that that is going to be very much on his agenda.
So let's look at anything they can do to enable profit making, both on the advertiser side, agency side, and for us, media people like TVC.
It goes back to, one, and this happens everywhere too. We are in the business of advertising, which is getting messages across. Oftentimes it's the practitioners in the advertising business. We're very poor at getting our message across. So we haven't been good at telling clients and reminding clients the importance of advertising and what it can do to their bottom line in terms of sales. And when we can't do that, well then how can we expect the client to put a value on what it is we do? Then if they don't put a value on what it is we do, they don't necessarily always pay us the rates we're looking for in terms of what we need to run our business. And then when they do pay, oftentimes it's on 90 or 100 days. And this is a major problem in this market, is late payment, in particular from multinational clients who would not get away with that in other markets. And it means then that in a market such as Nigeria, which is a hugely diverse media market with scores of media players, only a small few of us are actually robust and making money. Many others are not, and late payment doesn't help. And all the money that we make from advertising and from these clients who advertise with us, we reinvest it back into the business. So if it's late payment and we're not getting it for whatever reasons, then it's not being reinvested. Then we can't invest in talent, we can't invest in tech, we can't invest in research, and it becomes a spiral to the bottom. So late payment is a real issue, and that comes from advertisers not always seeing the value of what it is we offer.
Reactions have trailed the National Broadcasting Code as the NBC code. I don't know how that comes to you. How you react to it? A lot of reactions from everywhere.
There has been a lot of reaction. There's been a lot of reaction in the media, not all of it favourable. In actual fact, a lot of it has been unfavourable. like a lot of these things, look, you can't please everybody. And then in business, we all have our own agendas. So my agenda as the commercial director of TVC Communication would be to make sure that I don't mind competition. I welcome competition. I believe it's good for our business, but I want a level playing field. We spoke already about Big Brother Niger. Setting the bar, doing fantastic work, making huge amounts of money. I estimate making in excess of 1.5 billion on ad revenue, and probably the same again from telco over 12 weeks, by allowing the advertiser to do all sorts of product placement, branding, people wearing t-shirts, ticker tape across the screen. That's all fantastic. I welcome it. That's why we produce 8 hours of our own content every day, Wake Up Nigeria, Euroview, eSplash, to allow us offer advertisers that opportunity for more than the 30-second spot. Unfortunately, the NBC code prohibits me doing anything like to the extent that Big Brother Niger would do. And that places me at a huge disadvantage. If a client comes to me or Big Brother Niger and they want to do all this product placement, etc., they're going to find a more receptive home at Big Brother Niger, because I'm going to have to say to them the NBC code prohibits me to do that. And I find that really strange, because as I said to you, if I were making all the money that Big Brother Niger was making, I would be investing it all back in here. 600 staff. Each of those staff probably a nuclear family, so probably about 6,000 people benefiting from wages and salaries coming from here. Not to mention all the businesses, all the third-party suppliers who use us. Everything goes back into this market. My, I suppose, hope for the NBC code is that the people drafting it will see the change that's happening in the marketing and advertising world. We spoke about branded content earlier on, and that their code will be more reflective of what the consumer and the brand advertiser is looking for, and then that allows me provide the service that the consumer and the advertiser is clearly looking for and currently getting from Big Brother Niger.
Well said. Let's now go back to COVID-19, which is the new norm. Tell us how this has affected operations, maybe here, and maybe, or you could also touch on the industry as a whole.
Well, it's had a dramatic effect on the industry. Global advertising down dramatically. We've seen in March, April, May, certainly in Europe, the TV markets wiped out. So look, it has been a horrendous shock to this, because if you can imagine, big sporting events are not happening, so there's no sponsorship money. Airplanes aren't flying, so there's no travel money. So all of that is wiped out globally, and that has a knock-on effect here in Nigeria. But if we just focus on Nigeria, 6 months on, we've had the big lockdown. We had 2 months of a lockdown. So the 2 months takes 15% of my year out of operation. So if there's a lockdown, consumers aren't able to go and consume, so hence advertisers are not advertising. So immediately the market is down dramatically. So in March, none of us knew what was going to happen. We were bracing ourselves for a worst case scenario. We didn't understand what the health implications of this were going to be. We have a large workforce. So twofold, we managed our staff. We got most people who didn't need to be on site home, working from home successfully. We kept our channels on air. I believe that was an achievement. You look at all the outdoor sites, they were all switched off. All our channels were on air. Viewership and listenership went up. We provided a service to our consumers, and we provided a service to our advertisers. We gave them flexibility. We gave them whatever they need. I think if I was to assess it very, very quickly, 6 months on, we remain incredibly strong in this market, TVC Communications. So it means that the ship we've built is strong and seaworthy and can go through any gale and any storm. However, our expectations would be that our revenue would have been a lot higher this year. We'll hold our like for like, which is an incredible performance on last year. But a lot of our targets were set on us growing because we're on this growth path. So what it's done for us and most other businesses, it's knocked us back 12 to 18 months, and we will spend 21 trying to recoup that revenue.
So I can ask now that the figures are not looking too bad. Some say it's because they're not testing, a lot of issues, we don't know. But are there new projections now, as it looks like things are getting back to normal one way or the other? Are there new projections?
Things are certainly getting back to normal. I foresee just from, I suppose, revenue and bookings I'm looking at the moment, we're looking at a strong Q4. Surprises me. Not quite sure what's going to happen to live events, if they're going to be allowed between now and the end of the year. If they're not, that may have an impact. But we're still looking, we have visibility now in September. We know where our year is going to end. It should end, as I say, like for like, pretty neutral. I am concerned about Q1 next year. What I'm hearing is Q1 will be very, very tough next year. Again, that will feed into the projections we have for next year. They are talking, initially globally, they were talking about a V-shaped recovery, whereby it was a steep decline and then we come out very quickly. That now, there's no more talk of that, and they're talking very much about a U-shaped and quite a flat U-shaped as well. So most business leaders are saying it'll be 2022 before they're back on their feet. We are no different.
Well, finally, I know you very well, but just for our viewers, who is Ronan Redmond?
Well, Ronan Redmond is Commercial Director of TVC. He's been living and working in Lagos, Nigeria for the past 3 years. Passionate about the advertising industry, passionate about everything we're doing at TVC Communications, and I suppose a huge supporter of Marketing Edge on TV. And this was a concept that you, Tulu, myself, and John and the team at Marketing Edge came up with together. And the whole reason was we wanted a vehicle to promote advertising and to promote marketing in this market, because we believe it can do a lot better than it's currently doing. So we remain committed. These are challenging times, but we remain optimistic.
Thank you so very much, Ronan Redmond. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fist bump.
All right, then.